us a little bit about your project.
So all living things have a genetic code that basically acts as the instructions to how that organism works. And using genomic sequencing technology, we can sequence their genetic code and use computer programs to interpret it to understand how that organism works. And so I look at the genetic code of bacteria and using that genetic information to see if we can understand things like how bacteria spread within the hospital environment, how they adapt to antibiotics and become resistant to those antibiotics, and also how they adapt and change over time due to vaccine programs. Something that really excited me about this project is it sits, at this really interesting nexus point of being able to get a real-time look into how evolution works and how we as a society kind of adapt and combat the evolution of infectious diseases and how they sort of overcome the medicines we provide, and it's this kind of arms race between the two. And so genomic sequencing allows a really interesting window into that process. And also working with a big data project, there's a lot of data visualization and understanding the sort of visual side of your project. And that's something I really enjoy as well. And I think the visual side of science is just as important, if not more so, as the kind of words that go along with it. A lot of my day is spent at my computer doing, digging deep into the data, doing a lot of data visualization and things like that. And that's usually just me. But there's also quite a bit of teamwork involved, and working in a project that's quite translational. It often involves people at kind of every step of the process. So people that maybe generate the genomic data in the lab, as well as those that might use the analysis that we provide, people like infection control staff at a hospital and treating clinicians and things like that. And so as an example, I recently worked on a project that looked at using genomic data to track superbugs in hospital. An example of that is VRE. And so we developed techniques to use this genomic data to track the superbug in the hospital. And quite excitingly, the methods that we developed have now been kind of adopted into routine infectious disease surveillance in the state. So it's really nice to see, your project go from, research and ultimately translated into the day-to-day and making a difference.